Let's give it up to Andrea Cohen and EBSR team. Mostly you, the members, have come together. Wow, I didn't know it was that old. 24th year. I remember when this organization was founded. And I just got to say from the bottom of my heart, when you look at the progress that we're making in Vermont, to improve quality of life, to ensure that we're growing jobs, but to make sure that we're going to leave this state and hopefully this planet by example, better than the way we found it, and with a brighter future for our kids and grandkids. It is this organization that gets it right to help us pass legislation, make the case to Vermonters time after time, and to do the right thing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad to be here for the 24th year, and I'm also glad to be here to congratulate the Environmental Excellence Awards awardees that are going to be celebrated after I leave and they make me get on to my next stop. But I've got Jesse Johnson here. He brushed his teeth. Look at that. Bucky White. And he even put his tie on. He tied it all by himself. And he's going to be here to represent me with those awards. So thank you, Justin, from the Agency of Natural Resources for doing that. Mostly to the winners. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Listen, just a couple of quick thoughts after I know it's been a long day to share with you a few things I think we ought to be celebrating. I don't think it's a coincidence that as Vermont leads the nation in passing the most sensible minimum wage to lift up the boats of hard-working Vermonters, make sure that we pass a bill that allows you, for the first state in America, it's going to allow you to actually have the right to know what's in your food when you buy it. And by the way, for all you that are, sitting here looking at your iPads and your iPhones, no, you're not driving. That's all right. You can look at it. But I want you to go to Vermont Food Fight Fund. Actually, foodfightfundvt.org and make a contribution so that we can win that case and let the other 49 states join us in doing the right thing. So Vermont Food Fight Fund, foodfightfundvt.org. We need to raise the money to fight the case, to win it in court, because I can guarantee you Monsanto and the team are coming at us double-barreled, and in Vermont, if we can get that right, other states will follow. But it's also not coincidence that we're sitting here with the second lowest unemployment rate in America. The second lowest unemployment rate in America. And I want to remind you, the only state that is beating us right now, North Dakota, is doing so at their own peril and their own risk because they're drilling for a lot of oil and gas and things that we don't do in Vermont. And we all know that, with climate change, the need to get off of our addiction to oil, their number's going to be up. We'll be number one pretty soon. But listen, because of your good work, because of Andrea and the folks and advocates in the legislature, we have the lowest unemployment rate, second lowest in the nation, because of the choices that we're making about environment, quality of life, and work ethic, and wages, and growing food local, and farm to plate, and all the extraordinary things that are happening across Vermont. When we fund the Working Farm Program, the Working Lands Program, it's the only new program I've started as governor in tough fiscal times, so that when someone's starting a new cheese plant, and they need a particular piece of equipment, or when Black River Produce is going to start the first really huge, by scale, processing facility for grass-fed and locally grown meat products. So that we're going to get into Shaw's and Price Chopper as well as into the co-op. When you get the grant to the folks that are making caramel with goat's milk that allows them to have a piece of equipment to expand their markets and their opportunity, it results not only in getting the best food grown anywhere in the world to markets that ought to be able to enjoy it, but it also means jobs. We've added almost 11,000 new jobs since I've been governor. Guess where they're coming from? We have 2,200 new jobs in the food sector, farm to plate, farm to fork markets. 2,200 jobs. We're adding new farms. We have more solar jobs in Vermont than any other state in the nation. #1 this year. We have quadrupled the number of solar panels put up in this state since I became governor. That's because of you, not because of me. We're out there doing it together. Net metering that you just lobbied for. Making sure we raise the 4% cap. Doing all the things that we know will not only ensure jobs, but ensure a brighter future for our kids. So listen, when we're out there leading the way, it's because of your efforts and your advocacy that we're able to win. And what I ask you to do, with all the good news and the good work that we're doing, is to cite our sights even higher. There is not a rational person in the world who's read the science who does not believe that we have a very limited window of time to do more of what we're doing in Vermont and spread it to other states and other countries if this planet can be livable for our kids and grandkids. Our window of opportunity is closing in on us as we start to get it right here. I also firmly believe that with your help, this next legislative session, and we've got to make the case to Vermonters, we can be the state that passes the first sensible, affordable, universal, single-payer, publicly financed healthcare system in America, where healthcare for the first time in American history, in this little state, will be there for you because you are a resident of the state of Vermont, not because of how lucky you are. And you know, we're going to need all of your help as we have this conversation, because there are so many powerful interests, so many folks making so much money off of the current system that want to leave it just the way it is. They actually benefit from a system where their incomes and their revenue rises faster than ours. You can do the math. It's good for them. They benefit from a system where cost grows higher than income. When we talk about minimum wage and the need to raise it not only in Vermont but across the country, when we talk about folks working for a federal minimum wage, $7 and a few cents an hour, where you literally work 40 hours, 50 hours a week, and you're still living in poverty. When we talk about the middle class, many of whom in Vermont and throughout the rest of the country haven't seen the kind of gains that others have. And you ask the question, why is it that so many incomes have been stagnant for the last decade? The answer we know. One of them is healthcare costs are gobbling up so much of our expendable income that we can't use it on the things that we wish we could. Housing, food, sneakers for the kids. We're not keeping up. So in Vermont, right now, you know this as business folks, we're spending 20 cents of every single dollar we make on healthcare. If healthcare costs rise for the next 10 years, it's simple math, for the next 10 years, just simply at the same rate that they did for the last 10, that number doubles. That number doubles. Now I ask you to raise your hand if you think that the path to prosperity for you, your business, and your family is doubling healthcare costs in the next decade. So in Vermont, if we can be the first to get this right, moving from a quantity reimbursement system, fee-for-service, where we reimburse based upon the quantity of work we do, and move instead to one where we reimburse for the quality of work we do, prevention, eating Vermont food instead of corporate food, getting off the smokes, exercise, making sure that we do the preventative care instead of having to do the catastrophic care, we all win. And if we can also move to a sensible payment system, we all win. and you will grow jobs and prosperity because we will be the first to get it right. I often say on the healthcare front, when you'll hear the feared folks say, you know, Governor, how are we going to afford this? How are we going to pay for it? I keep saying, wait a minute. How are we going to afford what we're doing right now? How are we going to pay for what we are doing right now? One thing that I know for sure, the system right now is not sustainable. So if we can move from a system where some people pay because it's the right thing to do, and some people don't, but they say that's okay because the people who do will pay for them, to one where we all pay based on our ability to pay, I guarantee you that that combined with an affordable quality system that delivers better care, better outcomes for less money, and we all win. Now I'll close by saying this. Folks say, wow, Governor, that sounds like a tall order. That sounds like that's really hard to do. What I keep saying is, well, no, actually, it's perceived as hard to do in the 50 states. But look at everybody else that you are competing with right now for jobs. They've actually figured this one out. They all have some kind of universal access system, kind of like what we do for people who are 65 and up in this country, you know, single-payer, affordable health care system. But they do it for everybody. You don't have to be 65 to get in. And they live longer. They spend much less than we do per patient, per resident. And they have better outcomes, lower infant mortality, more affordability. So listen, make me this promise. Let's take what we've done with the minimum wage. Let's take what we've done with GMO leadership. Let's take what we've done with renewable energy. Let's take what we've done with energy efficiency. Let's take what we've done with farm to plate. Let's take what we've done with locally grown quality food, growing jobs and economic opportunity. Let's take what we've done with so many sectors of innovation, from how we treat each other through marriage equality to all the other good ideas that this state has had, first. And let's be the first to get this right. This is our time. This is right for Vermont. This is how we'll grow jobs and economic opportunity. This is what you will be proud of when you are all done and you look back and you say, you know, we not only did great things for Vermont's economy, but we made this a better place to live. And we set the example for the rest of the nation. Go VBSR, we love you. Keep up the great work. Happy 24th. Let's keep it going. Get more members, more people aboard, more people in the tent, and more people listening in the legislature, and we will get the rest of the work done. Thank you so much.
Here, Governor Johnson. Thank you for joining us today, Governor, and for your leadership, your vision, and your willingness to make change. And same goes for all of you in the crowd. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your willingness to think about doing business and managing your organizations in different ways, and for advocating for sensible policies that will make Vermont a great state to live, work, and do business in. So we're about to bring most of this day to a close. We've got the Governor's Awards for Environmental Excellence coming up next. I want to thank everybody for attending. I hope folks learned something new today. I hope you met somebody new today. And I hope you go back to your places of work with refreshed energy, new ideas, and ready to create some change in your own organization. And with that, I am going to move us from our 24th Annual Spring Conference to the presentation of the Governor's 2014 Governor's Awards for Environmental Excellence. You're going to learn a little bit about this program and what it is. It's a thrill for us to be able to host it here at the closing of our conference. And I'd like to introduce Justin Johnson, Deputy Secretary of Vermont Agency of Natural Resources, who's going to oversee the awards.
So that's a pretty tough act to Ignacio. I have a bit of an accent. I grew up in Australia. It doesn't have exactly a single payer system, but it does have universal health care. And I'd never heard a conversation about healthcare until I moved to the US, where it seems to be a really big problem. So it is possible to go through life and not even realise that it's a problem. Anyway, so the Governor's Awards for Environmental Excellence are only 21 years old, so they're a little bit younger than BBSR. So welcome everyone to these awards. We're proud to continue this tradition of publicly acknowledging exemplary environmental projects that contribute to the quality of Vermont's environment and inspire others to act. The projects are evaluated on 6 criteria: measurable environmental results, demonstration of innovation, sustainability and partnerships, transferability, cost and economic benefits, and the advancement of environmental education. Today we're going to honour a broad range of projects, stewards of our natural resources, folks that are taking the steps to address climate change at the local level, renewable energy leaders and environmental education leaders in Vermont. After I describe the project briefly, if you come up this way, we have a plaque to give you, and if we sort of get the flow going this way, it'll move things right along. So with that, we'll jump right into it. I know that it's always tough. People say it's tough being between the morning session and the lunch. It's even tougher being between the end of the conference and a beer. We're going to have to work on that. Maybe the agency will have to pony up more money next time and get a better spot. So the first one up is All Earth Renewables. Now, All Earth Renewables in Williston manufactures a complete grid-connected energy systems for homes, farms, municipalities and businesses. 2 years ago, the company created an innovative carbon tax plan and benefit program for employees to reduce their personal use of fossil fuels. It focuses on fuel used in family vehicles, home heating fuel and purchased electricity. Employees receive an annual cash allowance and are charged a carbon tax of 15 cents per kilowatt hour of energy used in the 3 areas. And what they don't use at the end of the year is theirs to keep after filling in a carbon tax return. The program is popular with employees, and average employee savings have increased over time, showing it's an effective model for changing behaviour. So I would ask Joyce D'Encina and David Blisdorf to please come forward and accept the award. Next up is CX Associates. CX Association in Burlington is an engineering consulting firm providing commercial and industrial energy efficiency services. Vermont as a state ranks 10th highest in per capita consumption of motor vehicle gasoline, and transportation is our largest source of greenhouse gas emissions. Given our rural setting and limited public transport, it can be a challenge to reduce fuel use. Through its Green Incentives program, the company offers numerous benefits to change behaviour, including free bus tickets and passes. Regular walkers and bikers to work receive a gift certificate to a local sporting goods store. The company participates in Car Share Vermont and pays for each employee's car share membership. And they also pay a stipend for putting nitrogen in tyres or using summer tyres to increase gas mileage. And this one's interesting. The free parking in downtown Montpelier for employees has been eliminated as an incentive to change behaviour. So CX Associates has been measuring its progress in reducing vehicle miles travelled and has 100% of employees participated. So congratulations to Eric Hauser and Jennifer Chiodo. Wait for the spots to go away so I can see.
Yeah.
Next up is IBM. IBM is continually improving the environmental performance of its semiconductor manufacturing and waste generating processes. The site engineers redesigned a device on a lithographic process tool called a solvent block. They greatly reduced both the volume of cleaning solvent used and the resulting waste solvent. The redesigned process was manufactured by a local tool manufacturer that not only supported local employment but saved the company money, allowing all tools to be modified. The The changes resulted in a yearly reduction of over 73,000 litres of solvent use and waste solvent. It saves IBM more than $500,000 a year. So will Kevin Remillard, Steve Bedore, Ruben Coley, please come forward to accept the award. Thank you. The next award goes to Sun Common. Sun Common in Waterbury Centre is a residential solar installation business with an innovative finance model that has made solar renewable energy more popular in Vermont. As we heard earlier, Vermont has the highest rate of solar jobs in the country. The approach is to eliminate upfront costs to homeowners with a fixed monthly payment the same or often less than what they were paying for utility power. When the company started, there were 1,500 residential solar PV installation systems installed in Vermont. In 2 years of operations, 700 additional systems had been added. Could I have Dwayne Peterson, Charity Carbine, Marge, and okay, I'm getting in trouble for going out of order now, so it's just to keep everyone guessing. Next up is Lamoille Valley Ford and Twin State Ford. Lamoille Valley Ford in Hardwick and Twin State Ford in St. Johnsbury designed an innovative promotional campaign and made significant financial investments to promote the sale and lease of Ford's new plug-in hybrid vehicles, which get some of the highest gas mileage in the industry. The 30 Energies in 30 Days campaign reached the original goal of 30 Energies in just 16 days. Dan Keane from Lamoille Valley Ford increased the goal to 50 Energies in 30 days. When the dust settled, the two dealerships combined to deliver 57 Ford Energies to Vermont consumers in the month of September 2013, after selling just 3 total in the 3 months prior. Sales of plug-in hybrids ranked number 2 and number 3 for all Ford dealerships in the US, which just goes to show that these vehicles with the right marketing are certainly vehicles that people are looking for. So congratulations to them. Next up we have the Brandon Fire District, number 1. Brandon Fire District number 1, under the leadership of Water Superintendent and Manager Ray Counter, has led the development of a comprehensive groundwater source protection plan and is the first municipality in the state to receive the Class 2 designation, which provides added protection for its drinking water sources. Being in the Agency of Natural Resources, I can tell you that there's quite a lot of work in that designation, and I know that most water system operators in Vermont have plenty to do, and adding this was quite an accomplishment. So Ray, would you come forward to receive? Next up, we have the Chittenden Solid Waste District. Chittenden Solid Waste District in Williston serves a population of 160,000 people with municipal waste services. Over the years, CSWD has used public education as a primary tool to drive behaviour change in waste prevention, waste reduction and proper waste disposal. Educational programs touch all facets of the waste stream, be it compostable organics or hazardous waste, and reach all sectors of the population. Through websites, hotlines, newsletters, social media, educational displays, school programs, business assistance and more, CSWD has high participation rates in its programs. The measurable results from these efforts show a reduction in daily per capita disposal solid waste and high rates of solid waste recycling and diversion that lead the state and set the district apart as leaders in raising public awareness. So will Nancy Plunkett, Michelle Morris, John Powell, Claire Inns, Marge Keogh and Veronica Travers please come? Woo! Thanks a lot, Okay. Next up, we have the Marshfield Energy and Climate Change Committee. The Town of Marshfield's Energy and Climate Change Committee has been busy on many fronts over several years. Community efforts have included 80 energy home energy visits, weatherisation and solar workshops, energy conservation projects at the school, and the complete energy retrofit of Marshfield's municipal offices and community centre, including lighting upgrades, a wood pallet boiler and solar panels. So could I have Rich Phillips and Bob Aitchison come forward, please? Rich, you didn't get this just because you're my old boss. Next up, we have the Weybridge Energy Committee. In 2013, the Weybridge Energy Committee successfully completed the year-long Vermont Home Energy Challenge by educating town residents about home weatherisation, energy conservation, and reducing the town's carbon footprint through a pledge program, weatherisation workshops, and over 50 home energy audits. Weybridge was the first town to reach the challenge goal to weatherise 3% of its homes by the end of the year. Having achieved 180% of the goal, Weybridge leads the state in this effort. So would Nadine Barnacle, Gwen Nady Benson, John Meakin, Spence Putnam, Fran Putnam, Giola Cuss and Dan Wright, please come forward. Community members involved, even if it does feel like the pictures of a wedding at the end. Next up, we have Highfield Centre for Composting. The Highfield Centre for Composting in Hardwick has been providing composting technical assistance to farmers, businesses and solid waste districts and towns across the state. Highfields has played a pivotal role in developing acceptable management strategies and training and certification programs for composters. Over the last 2 years, Highfields has trained and certified 115 composters in the state under Vermont's A&R, the new operator certification program at A&R. In addition, it has trained and educated over 4,750 students, teachers, community leaders, composters and businesses in food scrap separation, diversion, commercial composting and home composting. Through the Close the Loop program, Highfields has motivated scores of businesses, schools and institutions to join organics collection programs. Will Grace Gashani, Mari Omland and Maya Hansen please come forward? With the new universal composting regulations we have, there'll have to be a lot more work like that in the future. Okay, we're getting there. Next up is Northwoods Stewardship Centre. For the past 20 years, the Northwoods Conservation Corps has provided hands-on, conservation-based education and employment to North East Kingdom youth ages 14 to 21. The Corps is part of the Northwoods Stewardship Centre in East Charleston. The Corps tackles priority conservation projects in the region, including trails, riparian buffer restoration, invasive plant species control, wildlife habitat projects. The Northwoods Conservation Corps prides itself on putting local youth to work in their own communities, fostering a strong sense of place and understanding of the region's natural and cultural history. Will Ross Stevens and Carol Moore. Next up is the Sustainable Energy Resource Group, pronounced SURGE. SURGE pioneered the concept of town energy committees back in 2002 and now networks with over 180 town energy committees in Vermont and New Hampshire. In addition, SURGE coordinates energy conservation programs for towns in the Upper Valley region. Thetford Heat was one such pilot program, a door-to-door outreach to 650 homes with 240 energy surveys collected and 18 homes weatherised as a result. Will Bob Walker please come forward to accept this? Next up we have Waterbury LEAP. Since 2007, Waterbury LEAP, or Local Energy Action Project, has been one of the most active town energy committees, having completed dozens of renewable energy and energy efficiency projects in Waterbury, Duxbury and surrounding areas. A recent project, Waterbury Duxbury Solar Years, set out to double solar renewable energy capacity in 1 year. That being accomplished, Waterbury Leap set out to repeat the effort in year 2 and has quadrupled solar capacity in just 2 years. Will Jamie Irvin and Duncan McDougall please come forward? Next up we have Burr and Burton Academy. Burr and Burton Academy in Manchester has created an innovative place-based sustainability education model at its mountain campus in Peru, Vermont. The semester program has an integrated curriculum where students experience and practice land stewardship and develop creative thinking, communication, leadership and teamwork skills necessary to effect positive change. The mountain campus facilities have received LEED Platinum certification. Will Mark Kazjian, Ben Freeman, Paul Kelly, Cindy Mowry and Gillian Joyce please come forward. We have awards for Vermont schools achieving Energy Star building certification. The following schools are among some of the first in Vermont to achieve EPA Energy Star building certification for schools. These schools are in the top 25% nationwide in energy efficiency, while also meeting standards for health, ventilation, comfort and lighting quality. These schools are part of Project Green School, a collaboration led by Efficiency Vermont and the Vermont Superintendents Association's School Energy Management Program. I just want to recognise Shelburne Community School. They were not able to attend today, but we recognise their work and acknowledge them as one of 3 inaugural Vermont Green Ribbon schools in this United States Department of Education program, recognising comprehensive environmental sustainability. And that wraps it up for the awards. I thank you all for having me and appreciate your continuing support of these awards. And if you haven't put in an application for an award, then you should consider doing so. It's not that hard. And generally speaking, the applications are due in January. They're announced in September, they're due by January, and then we do the awards at this event or around this time. So I'm sure you're all doing great things and you should think about applying. So thank you very much. And